There is something you were never meant to know. A transaction took place, hidden in shadows, sealed in silence. Someone you trusted made a deal with a spiritual woman, handing over what should have never been offered: your name, your photograph, your birth date. And with it, permission to block the very path heaven ordained for you. But what was done in darkness has now been disrupted by something greater than darkness. Last night, the altar trembled, not by her choice, but by force. A power higher than any earthly hand entered the room. She, this woman of ritual, was meant to remain composed, confident, untouched. But something happened that shattered her control. The fire she lit refused to burn. The smoke reversed direction. The elements betrayed her. Her voice cracked. Her hands shook. She saw something no human soul is meant to see, and she broke. For the heavens had declared, enough. As it is written, there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. Luke 12:2. And now, the one who watches in secret has pulled back the veil. The delay, the silence, the confusion around you, it was not a lack of faith, it was interference. But interference only lasts until heaven speaks, and heaven has spoken. This is not just a story, this is a spiritual shift. The opposition that once stood firm has been struck down, not by argument but by divine authority. The sword of the Spirit has moved, the angels have descended, the covenant around your name has been rewritten in fire. Now, as you step forward into this divine role, I invite you to declare your readiness. Type Amen in the comments below as a sign of your agreement, as a bold statement that you are ready to walk in your God-given calling. And stay with me until the very end, because we'll be closing with a prayer of reversal and restoration for this exact moment in your life. The chains are breaking, the silence is lifting, the hour has come. Let's begin. Now, what was once hidden has begun to tremble. The silence that wrapped around your life like a shroud is unraveling, not by coincidence, but by divine disruption. The spiritual woman, she who was commissioned to bind your path, found her strength crumbling last night. Her hands, once steady over cursed scrolls, began to tremble. The voice that once called on ancient shadows now faltered mid-sentence. Her altar, built with intention and secrecy, no longer obeyed her. The flame would not stay lit. The incense curled not upward but backward into her own lungs, choking her with the very smoke meant to cloud your future. The elements, which once bowed to her rituals, turned against her. The water in her sacred bowls spilled untouched, and her shadows whispered words she could no longer control. Because the contract, yes, it was real. It was signed not with ink, but with intention. Someone who once shared your laughter, who once looked you in the eye with kindness, handed over more than money. They gave her your name, your image, your birth date, symbols of identity far more powerful than gold or silver. With them came a curse, spoken aloud, sealed with envy, delivered with bitterness. And so she did what she had done before. She opened her books. She called on spirits not meant to be named. She wove delays into the atmosphere around you, twisting time, clouding purpose, confusing your path. The reason doors slammed, why you questioned your worth, why your light felt dimmed, it was not weakness, it was war. She whispered incantations like, "They shall not rise, they shall be forgotten, they shall not be seen." Words meant to erase you from destiny's timeline. And yet, something she had never known how to face arrived. As she tried to sleep, her eyes were open to a reality beyond her reach. Standing beside her was not a man, but a messenger, clothed in white, silent yet fierce. His sword was not forged by men, but formed of divine wind, cutting not through flesh, but through lies. He said nothing in the tongue of mortals. He simply pointed to the ceiling above her, and then to the name she had cursed, your name. In that moment, her soul split with fear. Her shadows, once obedient, began to whisper behind her, no longer under her rule. Her voice lost command. Her altar grew cold despite the candles burning. Because the agreement she made came with one condition: she must never fear what she sees. But she saw something her soul could not bear, and she broke. She whispered, "I revoke it, I undo it, I cancel what I have done." But her words came too late, for the heavens had already moved. The undoing was not hers to declare. The reversal had begun the moment someone on earth cried out for you, unaware of the full battle, yet interceding with the kind of desperation that reaches the throne room of the Most High. It is written in Psalm 34:17, "The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles." And so it was. Your name was lifted above her altar, not by might, not by power, but by the Spirit of the Lord. This is why your nights have been restless between 2 and 4 a.m., why your dreams have spoken in riddles, why your soul has felt the tension of unseen conflict, because your spirit was fighting in realms your body could not enter. But the tide has turned. The man who paid for your silence, he thought his plan was working. He mistook your stillness for defeat. He smiled when you stumbled. But last night was his undoing as well. For the woman he paid to speak curses now finds herself speaking judgment, not by will, but by divine force. What she swore to keep hidden will now be revealed. What was done in secrecy will be dragged into the light. As written in Ecclesiastes 12:14, "For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil." You, chosen one, are being lifted from the net cast over your spirit. The chains that sought to hold you in delay have snapped. The atmosphere around your name is shifting. Heaven has entered the contract and rewritten it in fire. Now listen closely, chosen one, for what you are stepping into is not just a moment of personal breakthrough. It is a sacred realignment ordained by heaven itself. The tide has not merely shifted, it has turned with divine force. And in this turning, the invisible has begun to unravel. There were threads, unseen to the natural eye, that had been laced around your progress like cords of delay. These threads were spun not through your failure, but through secret intentions forged by a wounded heart. Someone you once welcomed with open arms, someone whose voice once spoke kindness to you, allowed their envy to ferment in silence. That envy was not loud, but it was lethal, and in a moment of weakness, they gave permission for your name to be mishandled, not by strangers, but by a spiritual broker who trafficked in shadows. She accepted what he offered, not silver, not gold, but something far more powerful in the spiritual realm: your name, your image, the day you were born. And with those sacred markers, she laid them on an altar forged from bitterness. It was not merely a spell, it was an agreement rooted in pain, sharpened by jealousy, and carried out with intent. But she did not know who she was contending with. She did not understand that the one she targeted had already been consecrated. For even before your breath entered this earth, your name was spoken in the courts of heaven. As the psalmist declares, "Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." Psalm 139, verse 16. And so, when she raised her hands to seal your delay, she crossed a line not drawn by men, but by God Himself. Heaven does not always shout. Sometimes it waits in silence until justice must roar. The moment she moved to complete the curse, the heavens split in response. The room where she stood was no longer hers. A divine presence descended, not metaphor but reality, and what she witnessed caused her knees to buckle and her altar to lose its voice. The fire refused to burn. The air rejected her command. Her words returned to her, not in power but in judgment. Chosen one, it was not your own strength that broke the attack. It was the authority of the one who wrote your purpose. He who guards you neither sleeps nor slumbers. Psalm 121, verse 4. That which was done against you in darkness has now been confronted by light. For the Lord has said, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay." Romans 12:19. And the repayment has begun. But this is only part of the truth. There is more you must understand. The days ahead, 9 of them, are not ordinary. They are sanctified, set apart for a quiet exchange. While you may not yet see it with your eyes, restoration has already begun to take shape behind the veil. Prayers you once thought were unanswered are now seeds breaking through the soil. What was denied to you will begin to return, not rushed, not loud, but right on time. And while your blessings rise, others will fall, not at your hand, but at the hand of divine justice. The man who whispered your name in betrayal will feel his strength turn to weakness, not because of revenge, but because spiritual equilibrium must be restored. His false peace will tremble under the weight of what he set in motion. You will not need to confront him. You will not need to explain anything. Heaven will speak louder than your words ever could. And the woman, the one who cast with boldness, will be silenced by her own trembling. For the gate she opened unlawfully has been sealed by holy fire. Her name too has been recorded, not on paper, but in a realm where accountability cannot be undone. There are records in heaven that no ritual can erase. You, meanwhile, will begin to notice a shift. The fog around your dreams will lift. The disorientation in your mornings will give way to clarity. The spiritual pressure that once lived in your chest, the one you couldn't name, will dissolve like mist under morning sun. It wasn't emotional, it wasn't just stress, it was a spiritual heaviness, and it has now been broken. But let the messenger speak plainly. There is still one gate you must open with your own will: forgiveness. Not as a gift to your enemies, but as a gift to your own destiny. Do not let their actions plant seeds of bitterness in your heart, for nothing poisons a blessing faster than unforgiveness. Your elevation is real, but it depends on clean hands. As it is written, "Who may ascend the hill of the Lord? Who may stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart." Psalm 24, verses 3 through 4. You are not being asked to forget. You are being invited to release, to remove the weight of their sin from your spirit so you may rise unbound. Yes, it will hurt, especially when you remember their name, when you hear what they said in your absence, when you realize they laughed during your loss. But release them anyway, for your silence will become your shield, and your peace will be your revenge. What was meant to destroy you has become the stage for your unveiling. And the ones who cursed your future will have no choice but to watch you step into it, not because you forced the door open, but because heaven did. Now that heaven has acted and the interference has been stripped away, the atmosphere around you has shifted, but this shift is not only for your freedom, it is a summons to stewardship. What has been broken was never meant to bind you forever, but neither was your deliverance meant to be passive. Freedom is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of a consecrated walk. You are now being called into a sacred posture, not only to remain silent in wisdom, but to walk with intention. Restoration is not something you merely receive. It is something you step into, nurture, and honor. It is a covenant unfolding, and your cooperation with heaven matters more now than ever. After every spiritual breakthrough, there must be alignment. And so, in this divine season of reversal and protection, the Most High is giving instruction, clear, practical steps, daily acts of agreement between your spirit and His will, designed to keep you walking in the light He has reignited over your path. Guard your atmosphere. What surrounded you before cannot remain. Your spirit has endured a battle many never perceived. Now, your space must reflect the victory. Open your windows. Let the breath of God cleanse the air. Remove objects that carry emotional residue, gifts from those who brought confusion, reminders of seasons where heaviness clung to your soul. Your home is not just a shelter, it is a sanctuary, as it is written in Ezekiel 43:12. This is the law of the temple. The whole territory shall be most holy. When your space is in order, your spirit finds peace. Discipline your tongue. Your words carry spiritual consequence. Speak no retaliation, no bitterness.